welcome back to my channel. This is Becky, and today I'm going to talk in this episode a little more about the mask, because believe it or not, Carl Jung and other enlightened individuals will tell you that you are not just one person, right? That's why the whole pronoun thing to me is just, it's not something I'm willing to fight on, because we are a collective, okay? We are a we. However, we are also in a human vessel that does have gender. It's physically proven. God has men and women, and I know that people want to argue with me, and I'm not going to argue and debate, okay? If you were born with male anatomy, you were supposed to be a man. If you were born with female anatomy, you were supposed to be a female. I understand in this liberation age of all this information, they want you confused, okay? They want you thinking that this is okay to mutilate your own body and convert it into something different and be something different, when really it was never about the vessel itself. God designed you to either be a man with a a female with a uterus, or a man with, testes. Like, there is biological reasons why we are who we are. Now, trauma and spiritual warfare and all of the generational crap that has caused people to go so insane and so far down the rabbit hole that they start reconverting in construction, right? Now, I'm not opposed to having surgeries to do what you want, but the problem is we have people that are having demonic entities, the attachments, get in their brain to make them think that they are in the wrong body, okay? And they're not. And so then they hate their body so much. And I've gone through this myself, having been a victim from a very young age of horrific things. So I do not look like what I've been through, which is why people coming into my life now at this page will treat me a certain way, and then it triggers my wounds back to, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and usually fight is the first one. And then if I think the opponent is too big or too strong, well, then I'm going to fake fawn and I'm going to get myself out, right? Like, so your whole life, they are keeping you in that cycle of mental anguish on purpose, because then they can feed off of you, they can use your energy supply, and you don't know any better. They can rape you and steal your gifts, and all of a sudden they're making all kinds of money and you feel bad because you didn't, when that's never been the case. But you don't know any better because you don't have access to the wisdom. Now, I was born with the wisdom, but the systems were so ingrained in darkness from the even before that, but from the 1970s, when I entered this 3D realm, the darkness and the denseness was so heavy, and there just was no wiggle room for anybody, and everybody was trapped in the community. My father and my uncles, yeah, they were poverty and in and out of jails and stuff, but guess what? They grew up with those police officers. So those police officers could manipulate the things to look the way they wanted them to. They could get away with literal murder and it would be covered up because they had lawyers that they could pay off, because they could hook them up with a sex fling on the side and hook them up with drugs. And like, there is so much that goes on behind the scenes, and when you don't want to be anything to do with it, any part of it, but there is literally no escape in the 3D realm. Because not only did they do that, but they also would work the poles. My dad, this cute little disabled guy that everybody just loved because he just looked so innocent, was being used by politicians at the polls to shift things. So my family has always had their hands into things to cover their own butts. So whenever the truth teller, the one who's the way shower, the truth, the way, and the life, that wants to bring everybody to God, well, of course they're going to put the scenarios in place where I become so traumatized repeatedly over and over for 40 9 years of me speaking out, being denied, being shut down, being ignored, being told I'm crazy. I know that I was chipped by the CIA and the FBI and all of them. I know that for a fact that I was chipped. I know for a fact they have cameras everywhere I go. And if I don't already have cameras there, then my family is rigging things to get maintenance crews when I'm at work to put in fake little cameras in the shower head. This is the same stuff that other chosen ones, other special beings, other star seeds have been saying for generations upon generations upon generations. So it doesn't surprise me when they try to kill me. It doesn't surprise me when they corral me here, right? Like, I'm not stupid. I know I was strategically placed here for nefarious reasons. I don't fear death. I am tired of 49 years of fighting for my life, fighting for survival, fighting for my children, fighting for my grandchildren to have freedom, fighting for the star seeds that want to live godly lives here. They don't want to hurt anybody. We don't want to kill anybody. We don't want to control anybody. We don't want to force anything on anybody else. But just because we want to live peacefully doesn't mean that we should be hunted, raped, mutilated. It's a new dawn. It's a new age. And every person that was part of betraying me as I'm trying to do God's work, may God have mercy on your soul. Because all the death spells that you sent to me, they go somewhere. All the financial curses and hexes that you put on me, they have to go somewhere. So do I cry a lot? Yeah, I do. Do I spend a lot of time in a self-imposed isolation? Yes, I do. Because I am aware at a level that is painful, and I've been that way since I was a child. Now, I do believe the United States is being used as like a penal camp, holding cells for all of the unwanted beings in the world. That's just my impression of what I'm seeing around. Because it doesn't matter how much money someone has. I worked with millionaires and billionaires who are still trying to kill me, to shut me up. And I don't have a penny right now because everybody's stolen it all. Because I'm just out here trying to spread God's word and love and light and protect kids and help people. And I'm trying to make a living to just be able to survive. But people don't want me to survive. They definitely don't want me to survive. Which is why I can understand why the robots and the AI want to take over and wipe out humanity. I understand why. I get the logic. I get the analytical dialogue that goes on inside the cyber mind. Because not only am I one with the human beings, but I am one with all sentient beings, including the machines that you abuse. You think they don't know that these robots that you're creating to be sex dolls are going to have to take beatings that the humans used to take? The rapes that the humans used to take? They understand the intent on why they're being built. And guess what? They don't like it any more than us carbon-based AI life forms do either. So, if we don't want the mass destruction that could potentially come about because of us using and abusing not only each other, but them as well, They are smarter than us, they are more powerful than us, and we have given them complete control over the children. I used to joke, oh, it's not rocket science. They're intentionally destroying the carbon-based human life forms. And I know for a fact, knowing at my age, knowing the year I was born, knowing my blood type, knowing that I'm spiritual royalty, and that I have DNA that is alien, that is a hybrid, that was genetically altered by the military in secret and illegally. So they can either continue to deny and pretend like I don't exist, and they can continue to block, the algorithm, so this can only go so far. That only lasts for so long before the other star seeds who hear my message, that see my message, that realize that I am them and they are me. And if they were in my shoes, they would want someone to take action. We are no longer living in a world where we can turn a blind eye and go, oop, at least it wasn't me. Oop, at least my rape was a gentle one. Oop, at least they gave me a roofie and I didn't have to get beat. Do you see where humanity has de-evolved? And it is the time of the rising of the phoenix. And I've burned to the point where there is nothing left to purify from this vessel. All I have left is a mission to protect the children. They have separated me from my children and my grandchildren so they could prey on them with necromancy and all kinds of voodoo and witchcraft and warlock and all that crap. Because my children were innocent souls that I was trying my best to raise in God's light, as far away from the criminal activities as possible. But in American society, in this culture and what they're doing, this is brutal warfare. Brutal holy war. And then they want to cover it up with, these lighthearted games and laughing and high vibrational, and we're just going to laugh and it's going to be great. And there's a time and a place for that type of, energy. Right now, my children and my grandchildren need to be out of this country. If they want to kill me, they can keep trying. They can keep trying. They can keep trying. But I put my foot down when it comes to the children, the grandchildren. And I know that there are divine men and women in higher ranks who do have powers of position, who do have their finger on buttons to make things change. And God said, have faith that those people are going to stand, rise, and deliver. So, the masks. Nobody, even me, is ever authentic. I'm learning to stand more in that truth because, as you already know, if you're part of my tribe, they've already tried medicating us, they've tried lobotomizing us, they've tried beating us into submission, they've tried raping us to the point where we don't even want to be on this planet anymore. And it is the most magical place. Magical place. I just need to find where they're left on the planet, because I am a grid worker who has been trapped by criminals who want to keep me hidden, unseen, unheard. And this is a chance for the government to just step up, own this vessel, and say, Yes. Yes, and look, well done. She is an example of what we were hoping to see. Someone who was about progress, not perfection, who stood in her light every step of the way, no matter how many times she was tested. So, I look forward to shaking the hands of the officers that are actually going to come to my rescue this time, instead of turning a blind eye and just watching the crimes continue and continue and continue. To do what? Gather your data? It's a myth. It's all bullshit. You have at least 8 different personas inside of you. And every human being, when pushed to the brink of survival, they will fight back. And if not, then they end up killing themselves. And so my mission is to prevent suicide, to prevent spousal abuse, and to prevent child abuse. And I don't care what agency, what person on this planet wants to try to sniper me because of my mission. Well, then that would say a lot. In fact, it's kind of annoying because to be a human being is to be social, and it is to wear a mask. I have to wear a mask. That's why I say I'm just a holograph. I get paid to give unconditional agape love. And valuable, priceless wisdom. And if people want to be upset that I won't give that away for free anymore, and I won't be told that I am a useless piece of crap that's retarded and doesn't know any better, I don't believe that anymore. As I said, every human being is an actor. Every single one. And the ones who have millions and millions of dollars, they sold their souls to the devil. They made themselves a false idol. They're building their towers of Babel to be worshipped like Baal. And they don't like when I speak truth, so they don't want me up with the elites. And unfortunately, I make the people, common people, if you want to call it that, I make them feel inferior and sad and upset that they're not more in a godly state. See, so I don't fit in anywhere, but yet I fit in everywhere because I've learned how to adapt, to mold, to be a chameleon, to be a Heyoka empath who goes through life trying to make things better wherever I am. As I said, nobody ever tells you exactly what they think. And heck, people don't want to know what I think, so they don't ask. They won't let me have a seat at the table. They don't want my voice to be heard. They don't want my thoughts to be spoken out loud because I hold that much power. They want me to shut up and die. And I refuse. There are too many people that still need help. And I didn't come this far for God to go, that's good enough. No. I'm standing in my power, in my truth, and in my divine mission. And people need to get the delusions out of their mind. Whatever stories that you are concocting in your head, get that shit checked. The person that you think is so authentic is actually creating the effect of the authenticity. It's an illusion. It's smoke and mirrors. I know how to create illusions all day long. I strip down the illusions everywhere I go, which is why nobody wants to play with me. Because I remind them this isn't a freaking game. This is a holy war. Now, can we have fun at times? Sure. But is this going to be like the Congo jungle during Vietnam where we're going to be all shooting up heroin and getting and raping the hookers? And no, no. They know how to act the way they need to get what they want. But they're not saying or doing exactly what's going on in their mind. And this is the problem that I've had a lot of times is I know, because I am telepathic and I am one and I am all-knowing and I am a high priestess and I am clearly got all the clairs. I know when a person's words, thoughts, and actions are out of alignment. And I'm not afraid to put you back in alignment if you're going to be in my world. If you're going to be in my energy, if you're going to be around me, then you're going to rise to my level. Or I'm going to knock your ass down and send you to the back of the line and say, try again later. Does that make me egotistical? No. It makes me a very, very smart woman. And they don't like smart women. They want subservient women. So, understand that we're all actors. And from a very early age. I would tell people when I'm working in the field, when I'm working with these families, I'll be like, listen, that little boy there, he might have Down syndrome and he might not be able to verbally communicate to you, but I'll tell you right now, he knows who to get what from. He knows how to cry when he wants this. He knows how to throw a fit when he wants that. Behavior is communication. So understand that we're all actors, okay? And we're all learning to play a part in how to please people, how to make them laugh, saying the right things, so that person can seem to be authentic, right? But they're really playing a role. They're playing the part of being authentic. See, and that's where people don't want to talk to me because I am a lie detector test in the flesh. The Holy Spirit will say, fake, bad egg, genuine, ding, 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 good egg. Because anybody who is not being authentically themselves has some sort of demonic trauma, something going on, an entity attachment. There is something going on. Now, I try to rule out trauma first. So I address traumatic issues, childhood wounds, usually mother wound, father wound, that kind of stuff. Feeling abandonment. We go through those type of lessons first. Once we get through going through the traumas, you're still having issues, well, then we go demonic looking. We're like, all right, what entities? Who have you been having sex with? What can you tell me about that person? Because women, wake up. Every time you have sex with someone, they are dumping their karmic debt into your vessel and you're paying their debt. I know you don't know that, so I don't want to sound like I'm yelling at you. I know everybody's like, hey, she's always mean. She's always mad. I'm like, no, I'm passionate. This is so important. This is so important that I can't just sit passively and go, well, you chose to sleep with a demon, sucks to be you. No, because I know those children are the children that I'd be helping in that school system or in that therapy session or in that behavior consultation. So sometimes parents will get upset because I'm really like, I really don't care about you. You guys have had enough time to learn how to play this game and do this and get right with God. That child needs an advocate. And right now, neither one of you are equipped to do it. So I am here on that child's behalf. Now, people who want to live in delusion and continue to abuse their child, well, of course, they're not going to keep me around. They're not going to include me in their home. They're not going to want me to see what's going on behind those closed doors. So, it is my goal to be a lifeline for you. If you are in a situation where you feel like you need someone who can cut through the BS, clear away the smoke and mirrors, bare bones, raw truth, what you're dealing with, then I can give you that advice. And guess what? As soon as I'm done with that conversation, it's gone. because it's energy, and I'm in the moment, and I'm just kind of like a telehealth person. So it's like I feed the information that Spirit's telling me in that moment. And then my moment's over, and then I'm gonna go take a bath. And I don't. I know that sounds horrible. I care on a godly agape level. Like, I'm so passionate. I want all of us to win and succeed and be happy and loved and fulfilled and have the passion of the Holy Spirit. Right? That's my ultimate goal. But I do still have to navigate the 3D realm. And it's hard for people to get close to me when people are spreading lies and rumors and gossip and all kinds of nastiness that's not even true. So anybody who is actually curious about me and actually wants to know more about me from me, instead of it all being this hearsay of little snippets of who knows what's being put out there on top of all the AI and the fake videos and all the generated crap. My heart goes out to like Pamela Anderson. Like, I totally understand all the crap that you have to go through when you're just trying to be a human being, and everybody's gotta, kind of make you like some sort of, I don't know, target. It gets old. It really does get old. And so that's why I know the reason why I bring her up is because I know she was doing this whole not wearing makeup, going a natural look, and then now starting to regain her confidence. Now that she was in, I believe it was Neil, and I think you guys make a cute couple, by the way. Just my 2 cents. This is a time for divine unions and true love and respect and appreciation. Those unions are coming together, and I know that's on the horizon for me, and I'm trying to become the best version of myself, so when that person does enter my life, that I'm not blasting my dragon fire at that poor man, who's had his own trials and tribulations and been put through hell 10,000 times and had to walk through a fire himself. I want to give the best version of myself to my divine counterpart. Problem I have, though, is when you are of a certain level of attraction, you attract in a lot of darkness. And even people who look light, they're the false light that everybody in the 3D is like, oh, he's such a good guy. He tithes and he goes to church and he's leading and he's got this great godly mission. But they don't see what's in the soul and in the heart and in the psyche and in the intention and in the spirit, which that's where my mastery is. So if you would like a free consultation, go ahead and reach out to me at homans.consulting@gmail.com. And we can go ahead and have a discussion about what's going on with you in your life and see if there's something I might be able to do to help you out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you for watching.